It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My name's Jamillah Lodge. I am your host today. We're going to be getting into talk a little bit about you and your entrepreneurial journey. Yes. For those that don't know, I don't know. If they don't know, then I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But you are Shawn Simmons,
yes,
a.k.a. Mr. Fotogenik.
Mr. Fotogenik, yes,
okay.
Correct. Yes.
So welcome to Mind Your Business. What we want to start with today is a little bit about your personal journey, like how you became Mr. Fotogenik.
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
All right. Well, I started off as a photographer.
Okay.
Photographer, videographer. And then I came up with the name Fotogenik Photography for the business.
Okay.
And then after that, I just made myself Mr. Fotogenik because that was me. And then I became this social media person back in, oh my gosh, what was this? It was like whatever year the Hurricane Humberto hit.
Okay, that's when you did it.
That's when it started off, and then people were saying, "Oh, Shawn, I really like this. You got to keep it going." So then I started doing more videos, and here we are.
So how did you know that you had this in you? Because not everybody has that gift,
right?
You know what I mean? So were you always this way, like growing up?
I think I'm always okay. Coming up, I was a little bit quiet, right? But around my friends, I was a joker. So, you know, you had to know me in order to get that side of me out.
Okay.
But now it's like I'm just out there to the world. So that's how it was. Like, I've always been this way, and different things that I've done earlier before I even became Mr. Fotogenik helped me. Well, I use the same skills now as Mr. Fotogenik.
So talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
So what were the different things?
All right. So I used to make music back in high school, and I still do. But I used to record, and even when I was younger, and I was in middle school, high school, middle school, I had a talk boy, and I used to take that around and record little interviews with different people. I've always had a love for comedy, and I loved to watch sitcoms. And so it was like I used to study it and not realizing that
that's what you were doing.
Yeah. And that I became this
personality.
This person,
yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty cool how you organically kind of transition into this, but it's also an opportunity for you to build a business.
Yes.
So, okay, you started the company for photography.
Yes, photography and videography, yes.
And then you became Mr. Fotogenik.
And then I became Mr. Fotogenik, the social media, or the personality.
Because if I'm being honest, I knew that person, not knowing that you did photography and videography.
And
so
that is wild, because a lot of people don't know that. They don't know, like, only people that know me from, before that know me.
Yeah.
They knew that. But a lot of people, they're like, oh, wow, that's what you do? And I'm like, okay, so that's why Fotogenik makes so much sense now, because when you heard the name, you don't even know why.
Exactly. You're like, oh, he must have been a model.
right. And the funny thing is, because I had a comedy show the other day, and DC Young Fly came down.
Yeah.
And I was hosting it. So when I was introducing myself to him and his team, they was like, Mr. Fotogenik. He started making fun of it. And they actually had a set about him making fun of my name or whatever. But it was all good, all good. But it is just not a normal name. So when people hear it, I'm like, okay, what is that? But as after I tell them it's about photography and videography, I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
So now that I know that, how do you mesh those brands together? Or do you keep them separate and distinct from each other?
I do kind of keep them separate.
Okay.
Like when clients want me for certain things, I have to ask now. Like, so if someone hits me up and say, yo, Shawn, I want you for my wedding. I'm like, what do you need? What do you need?
Yeah.
Do you want me to MC? Do you want me to do photos? Do you want me to do video?
Yeah.
You know? So at times they have all meshed in together.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, like I've actually done a wedding where I did photos and I MC'd and I DJ'd for the wedding. Like, it sounds crazy, but it actually it was easy to do. So what I had to do is I had to set up The night before at Bella Vista, like the music and everything. The wedding happened. I shot the wedding, then the reception was at Bella Vista. So after we had the wedding and we did the photos, it was like when the party started, and that's when I kicked in doing DJing and MCing.
Listen, you be like, you get everything you need in one.
In one. It is a lot. It is a lot, but you know.
Yeah. That's good though. I mean, if you're able to manage that, because shoot, some people have a hard time just doing one job.
No, for sure. Because and that's another thing. It's like you have to put in that extra work in order to get your stuff out to clients. Like, to get that finished product, you have to be up late nights, and a lot of people don't see that. Or they don't know that, but you know, I don't know. I don't want to start and talk about that.
No, let's talk about it because I think that is the part. Like seeing you on social media and looking at the end product, entrepreneurship looks really sexy, right?
Yes.
They're like, oh yeah, I could do that too, or I want to do that. So talk a little bit about what it takes on the back end to actually make these things happen.
Okay. Let's
start with the social media post, the Mr. Photogenic personality.
Okay.
How do you get what we end up seeing?
Okay. If someone might send me a video, it can be two other ways. Someone sends me the video personally, or it's a video that went viral some way, and then I'm like, okay, let me jump on it. So then I'm there looking at the video. I watch it a few times. I start brainstorming. I start writing things down because literally I'm basically writing music when I'm doing my videos because all my stuff rhymes, right? So then I'm doing that, and then I start recording. And I think that takes me a few hours. It really depends on how serious it is, but it could take me up to a few hours to get that finished product. And then I'm adding caption on it. Then I'm probably doing a little bit of special effects in there, all on my phone. Some stuff I do use the computer for, but when it comes to the social media stuff, most of the stuff is done on my phone. But yeah, it could take up to a few hours.
So in my mind, I'm thinking this is great. It's exciting for me because it's funny. We enjoy the videos and all of that. But how do you monetize that? Like, what does that translate into you from a business perspective?
Okay, so while what had happened was I was doing it. Yeah. COVID happened. Businesses is like, okay, how are we gonna get our stuff to the people or whatever? Right. They start hitting me up to do different promo for business. I think one of the first ones I had done was Gibbons Company, and we still was kind of like in lockdown. You had to go inside and use a mask and everything. So then people, the more you do, the more people see, and the more they want you to do for others. So that's how it came. So basically, it was like social media was free. I was doing these videos for free. Businesses looked at me and said, "Okay, this guy."
People are watching it. You have the audience.
Yeah, I got the audience. So we need to get him
to do our stuff.
Yeah. And that's how it happened.
Okay. Yeah. So now that's a whole new revenue stream for you.
Yeah. It's crazy, you know, because it's like something that you see happening easily in the States, because, you know, that's something that's been that's been happening all these years. It's something new to Bermuda, but I feel like Bermuda catches on late sometimes with different things, but 9 times out of 10, if something works out in the U.S., it would work here.
Yeah. Especially because we're still a relatively small community.
Yes.
So, like, everybody knows you now.
Yes.
Like, you know, my colleague was in here standing. Shout out to Dante.
That's Dante.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how does that feel for you? Like,
it's surreal, to be honest. I feel regular. I feel normal, but everybody else, the public, make me feel like I'm like a big celebrity, you know what I mean? Yeah. But to me, I still feel like I'm regular. Yeah. But like when people see me, oh, Mr. Fotogenik, can we get a picture? Like girls come up to me or little boys come up to me, oh, can we get a picture? Yeah. I'm like, wow, this is like, I'm
actually doing this.
You know, because you don't know, like you do it and you see, like you can look, I have like 18K followers. You can look at his followers, that just looks like numbers. It doesn't really look like anything to me because I don't see people firsthand, like in person. Yeah. But then when they see me, it's like, okay, I am really gotta reach, you know, and it's Bermudian. It's like, it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing.
It's across all. It's
cross. It's not an old thing. It's not a young thing. It's everybody. Yeah. You know, and it feels good.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. I mean, it's nice
to see the love that you get from the community, right?
Yes.
And you know that you are making an impact.
Yes.
You are brightening up someone's day. I enjoy watching the video, so it's pretty cool. So talk a little bit about how you first started when it came to the photos. Like,
photos?
Was that something you always had a passion for? Did you go to school for it? Like, how did you get there?
Well, let me tell you, back when I went to Cedar Bridge, I was in my last year of high school. I did a photography course.
Okay.
You know, as like an elective or whatever. Now, I did that not knowing that I was going to pick up anything later on. Fast forward to 2000, and I graduated 2001. 2009, I was into graphics and stuff, but I said I wanted to do some photos for some reason. I just said I wanted to get a camera. So I looked online at Emu, found a secondhand camera, bought that, started taking pictures at my godchildren's like birthday parties, started posting the pictures to my Facebook.
Okay.
And then people started messaging me saying, Shawn, how much you charge for pictures? I need you to do this, I need you to do that. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I gave them a price.
Yeah.
And then that's what started it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like that, like organically. It was just crazy.
So you never worked for nobody else?
No. When it came to photography?
No, just in general.
Yeah. Well, in general, yes. Well, I worked at I still work there. Rose Island Rubis.
Okay.
You know, so I do have another job, but
this is
like the main thing.
Okay.
I'm there like 3 days out of the week. Now since summer hit, it's 2 days because I work at Bonefish doing karaoke and like MCing and trivia. So it's so much different things that are happening throughout the week.
Yeah.
That it's like, I need the free time. So I do have a job, but realistically, you can kind of call that my part-time. Yeah. And then this is
your full-time. So you are a full-time personality.
Yes. Basically, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So what would you say to someone who may be considering photography? Because most people, in my mind, when they're taking pictures, they're usually the person that wants to be behind the camera. They don't want to be out in the public.
And right. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy because you're like behind and in front.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah. Because then I had to act like we was talking about that earlier. I had to ask people what they want.
Yeah.
Do they want me as a personality, or do they just want me to record a commercial?
Right.
Because I could do that too. You know.
Right.
You know what?
So photography and now videography.
Yes.
So you took a photo class, you started taking the pictures, you're good at taking the pictures.
Yes.
How did you make the transition to videography?
Videography. Now we got to go back again. So when I was like 18, 19, I had like a digital camera, and me and my friends used to always go swimming off the docks and stuff, and I started recording them, those things or whatever, like, and then I started piecing together stuff. This is like, let me tell you, okay, we guys gotta go back, because I gotta tell you how I had to do this. This when we first had digital cameras, so it was tapes. Yeah. But I had to buy a card for my computer in order to read. Basically, it was making my analog digital. So I had to hook that up, like how you hook RCAs to the back of a TV. Yeah. And then I had to record it like that. But then I was editing on the computer. And I started making like videos.
So you basically just self-taught yourself all of this stuff.
Basically, yeah. Well, okay. Let's go back again to Cedar Bridge. I did a communications course in Cedar Bridge.
Okay,
Cedar Bridge. We had did video and stuff. And I loved it. Like where I developed the love for videography at Cedar Bridge. Okay. And graphic designs at Cedar Bridge.
So I'm gonna ask you this now, Mr. Do Everything. Out of the three things, so photography, videography, and the personality, Mr. Fotogenik. Which of those do you love the most?
Love the most? I would have to say I love being a personality, but then the videography has a special place in my heart, because it's one thing to, like, say I do a wedding. It's one thing to record, and then once you piece everything together and you have that finished product, it's like I don't know, it's a feeling that you get. It's like an overwhelming feeling like you're like, oh my gosh, I did that.
Yeah.
You know, and then once the clients love it, it makes you feel even better, and people see that, and it's like they're reliving. Because a lot of people have told me once they watch my videos, it's like they're reliving it, and people who wasn't at the wedding feel like they were there watching it, because what you captured.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what are some of the things that you have done to kind of, I don't know, secure your place in the videography market in Bermuda? Like, what are some of the strategies that you've utilized?
To secure my place, to where it's like no one's gonna take my spot type thing?
Well, yeah, so that people pick you over the next person.
I just think it's more or less like the style, you know? I started off doing weddings. Well, I was doing other stuff before that too, but then weddings became my niche because I was doing something, I guess, different from other people. And now, well, I've been offering this for a while, I do a photo and a video highlight. So where I'm the main photographer, but I capture different videos in between, well, throughout the day. Right. And then I piece together like a highlight reel. So people love that because sometimes they don't want to watch a whole video. Yeah, so that's one thing that I could say that separated me from everybody else, is that I'm able to do both as one person. Okay. You know, it's not too many people
that can do that.
That can do that now.
So let's talk a little bit about the personality and how you kind of grew this personality organically, right? Like you said, your friends knew this side of you. Yes. But the average person, like even when we met, I was like, wait a minute, where's all the extra? Like you seem very reserved and all of that. Yes. So how did you kind of nurture and grow that personality and even the voice, which you have to do before we finish?
Right. Okay. How did I grow it? I would say it was a video that I'd done. It was these guys fighting around Spanish Point, and I did a voiceover for that. And that one went crazy. Like that one, everybody saw it. People were sharing it. It was going around on WhatsApp group chats, and that's what started it. Sure. No, I forgot the question.
No, I want to know how you got Mr. Fotogenik from just this person that all your friends knew to now everybody know Mr. Fotogenik.
Right. Okay. So I was on the right track. Yeah. I was on the right track. So then that video went and then that one went crazy. And then I started doing more, and I think once everybody got kind of like wind of who I was. They was looking at my page, and it was constantly looking for new
video and content.
New videos and new content. Like you have to keep up. It's like once you start it, you can't stop.
Right.
You got to keep up with it. And I think that's what really happened, and that's what blew it. And once I saw that, I saw the numbers start rising, and every time I did a video that did well, more people came to me, and a lot of things. Well, another crazy thing is that a lot of people didn't know what I looked like. They just
heard the voice,
because this is before I started doing MCing and stuff. Yeah. This is just basically strictly social, and it was basically me just recording my voice over video, so no one knew what I looked like. But then when I would speak to people in person, I'm like, okay, I'm Mr. Fotogenik. So you're Mr. Fotogenik?
Because this voice does not sound like the voice on it. So how?
Because that's like my hyper. Like I get like that if I'm hyper. Like this is my chill. This is Shawn chill. I'm gonna have an interview. Now, but if you was to see me on stage, then I would.
Then you bring that.
I bring it. But then if I'm around a lot of friends and we're like having fun, you know, I'm loud. So then I will be that. Yeah. But then I'm reserved when I'm on a podcast.
Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about this transition because, like you said, when you hear you and when you're hyped, you know who you are, right? So now we're talking about transitioning into MCing. That's different than doing the videos right. So now, how did you transition from that into actually MCing, especially if people would, on face value, they wouldn't know you Shawn is Mr. Fotogenik.
They I don't know. I can't remember what event was my first event. MCing. I think I'm not 100% sure, but it might have been BEDC's awards.
Oh!
I'm not 100% sure. I had to go back and check.
We'll take it.
But I want to say that it might have been that because we wasn't doing any events and everything was a digital.
Yes, it was online.
It was an online one.
Yeah.
And that was my first time, and that was actually kind of crazy because I was like in a I knew people could see me.
Yeah.
But I'm like talking to you right now.
Yeah.
But I knew it was just a whole bunch of. It was just so different for me, and I love to be able to interact with people.
With people, yeah.
And just me being there and not being able to interact, it was kind of crazy.
Which is interesting to me because when you're making videos, I'm assuming you by yourself.
I am by myself.
And then you got to bring all that energy
yes.
to the actual recording, even though nobody's in there with you.
Yeah, you know what? I never even thought about it that way. And I have to be. You know what? I have to be by myself. I have to be by myself. I don't even like to do it up. Like, okay, I have like a little studio at my house.
Yeah.
And it's like below my bedroom porch. Now before I had built that, I used to do stuff in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I did stuff in the house, no one could be home because I didn't really want to do it in front of everybody. I just feel.
What do you feel?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing it. Like I feel like it's me.
Yeah.
But then I'm hyped. So it's like I think I need to be hyped by myself. You know, I don't like my wife be like, what's going on? Like,
right.
You know, my kids, you know, it's just, I know I have to be by myself when I'm doing my videos.
Okay. So now you're by yourself doing the videos. MCing though.
MCing.
You are MCing for groups of people.
For groups of people.
So how do you like make that switch? What happens to allow you to switch on in front of all of the people?
Yeah, because everything was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy when I really think about it. Preparing myself, a lot of writing down different things that I want to say.
Yeah.
Thinking about different things that I want to say, brainstorming. So I have it down. They tell me, like, I type a lot of my content, but they tell me to write down because that makes you remember even more. But I still do type. Yeah. But then I just go over. I just going over different things. So I have those things in my head. So then when I'm up in front of the mic, I don't know. It's something that just kicks in. Like I will be so nervous before a show.
Yeah.
Like I would say maybe 5 times out of 10, like half, I get nervous. I'm like really, really nervous. And then it's like when I'm on stage, I've got the mic in my hand. It's like all the nervousness going, and I'm just right in it. I'm in it.
That's what they say about most their entertainers, right? Yeah. They have these personalities where you have Shawn, and then Mr. Fotogenik kicks in.
Yes.
I can remember one that I really enjoyed. You did for us. You hosted our youth entrepreneurship summit.
Oh yes,
I really enjoyed that.
Yes, okay, thank you. Yeah, that was real fun.
It was fun, and you were so engaging because it's sometimes hard to get young people.
Oh my gosh, yes, it is. It is. They are the hardest crowd.
Yes, they
to
are.
please.
They are.
So if you have them, you're
doing something, and you did have them. I think how you engage with them and ask them questions to see if because we're like they're not listening. Right. They are not paying attention to nothing that's going on, but you can tell from when you kind of assess the crowd and say, well, what did you learn? And they were able to recount. And I'm like, they actually were listening.
Yeah.
So I think, you're doing a great job, by the way. So I think however you're doing it, merging all of these things, and it's just you.
Yes. Yeah. Literally, it is just me.
Which is wild.
It is just me. And but now I've used other people in the past. I've used this guy to do photo editing. Yeah. Because it just gets so
a lot.
It's a lot. It's like you don't have no free time. You know, it's like.
And you mentioned wife and kids.
You have to have that balance. But that's one thing that I do struggle with. I time management. I do struggle with that. I'm not gonna lie. It's something that I want to get better at, and I got to be mindful of it because I can fall. I can get distracted real quick, and I'm like, oh, look where the time's going. Yeah. You know? Because
only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need 36.
Yes. But if I make myself a deadline, or if I tell a client, I'm gonna have this to them by that time. Yeah. Like, if I'm BSing for, say, maybe a week, the day before,
you're in it.
and I'm getting everything done, and I will deliver that.
All right.
I will deliver that.
So that you work to a deadline. Then.
I have to, because if someone doesn't tell me that they need it by a certain time, I will put it on the back burner. Right. And then I won't be thinking about it. Right. Like out of sight, out of mind. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. Or I will be mindful of it at a point when I'm not doing anything. But then once I start doing something, it's like that's going out the window.
So let me ask you this. So we have these three I guess, versions of yourself that you do. And you got another job, part-time job.
Yes.
So what do you do, or what is your vision like for the future? What do you want this business to be, and how are you going to get there?
I want it to be full-time, completely. I want to be like a multimedia, I guess, company. Just doing everything. Because outside of, like you said, MC, I also work with Irie 98. I do a segment. It's called What a Week, and I do like a weekly update to different things. So I'm doing different things, and I'm getting in. But I just want to be a multimedia company and just have them at all angles, and that's all I want to do. Right. And probably even step back towards more or less like I might have my own photographers doing for the events, and I'm just like chilling. Or I'm like, okay, you need to have this or whatever, and just maybe just talking to the clients. Yeah. Or just editing. Okay. You know, I don't know.
No, you do know.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I don't know what I want to do, because I don't have a problem with. Well, I still have an issue with sending my pictures off to someone else to edit, because I feel like I have a certain eye. Yeah. But I got stuff back, and even though I didn't do it, I'm like, okay, I probably wouldn't did it that way, but I like it. Yeah. It's nice. Now, when it comes to the videos, I'm very, I don't know, this is like my babies, and I don't want to give it to anybody. I don't want to give them up to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, because creatively, you have your own ideas about what you want to see and how you see certain things, and it's hard to teach somebody else that, right?
It is.
But it's interesting that you say you want to be this whole kind of media agency, because if that's the case, it's got to be more than just you.
Yes, of course. 100%. 100%. 100%.
So I think it's, for you have to decide what you feel comfortable giving to others. To other people, and then you can keep the things that you really love and you're most passionate about it, because then now you have more time when you can give the other things out.
Yes, and that's why that's where I want to go. Yeah. It's one thing where you're a boss and you're just chilling. Well, not really chilling, but you ain't gotta be here, there, and everywhere. You just gotta say, you go here. I need this edited by this time. Bang, bang, bang. I want to be on that. I want to be on that level. But,
you gonna get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there.
Listen, BDC, we book you and hire you, but we also have resources that can support you along your entrepreneurial journey, right? Yes. And so it's just understanding what you need, what's in the community that can help you get there, and then once you know that, we can put you in the right direction and everything. So please do take advantage of that.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So what would you say the most important skills that you have as an entrepreneur to succeed in this industry, in the creative industry?
You have to be a people person. I think, people have to like you. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't just be, a gribble. Like I'm very personable, and people, I don't know, maybe my personality is kind of like what do you say? I don't say not addictive.
Well, that's all right.
It is.
People like being in your presence.
Basically, yeah. Okay. I don't want to call it addictive, but that. So, you have to be like that, because you have to make people feel comfortable. Because a lot of times, when it comes to weddings, like people, they're very stiff. They're I don't know. They think too much. A lot of times the brides are very
they're in their head.
You have to be able to talk to them and talk to everybody and just
make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I know.
That's something it sounds like you've always had.
Yes.
Because I would imagine that's not something you can learn to do.
No. If you're not a people person, you can't learn to be one. No, I don't think so. Well, maybe you could probably be better. Yeah. But you can't be like great at it if you don't.
If it's not true, if it's not sincere, you'd be like, I really don't like people, but let me do this thing anyway. People can feel it, right?
Yeah, people definitely can feel it.
So what is one piece of advice that someone gave you that has helped you along your entrepreneurial journey? And then I'm going to switch it up and say, what would you give to someone else?
What did someone give me?
Like when you were starting out.
When I was starting out?
At any process for any of the 3 jobs that you had.
I gotta think. I was just trying to...
While you think, you tell me what you would tell someone else.
Okay, what I would tell someone else is that everybody has a skill, and you just need to figure what that is and how you can monetize it. Because I feel like everybody has the ability to do something or have something entrepreneurial working out for them. Because everybody has their own gift. They just need to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then just once you figure it out, run with it. And
I think the key thing that you said just now is to figure out how to monetize it.
Yes.
Because I think, like you said, people do have gifts and they do have things that they're passionate about. You know, I was having a conversation with my husband about our son, and, you know, he wanted to do journalism and art. And my husband's like, no. Like, how you going to make money from that?
Right, yeah.
And so I think it's understanding what that gift is and that passion. But then the second part is, now how do I monetize it? Because I do have to eat.
Yes, of course.
I still gotta pay rent and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
And so that you have figured out how to do that is great.
Yeah, it is. It amazes me all the time, because from me building these skills from basically a teenager to now, different things that I've learned have all come together to be this one entity. Yeah, and I think you are well on your way to become this media agency or whatever, because like you said, everything that you're doing, it kind of works together. It goes hand in hand. That you can do the videos yourself and edit the videos yourself. Is good. You don't have to farm that out to someone else. And that is a big thing, because a lot of people do, and then that brings the price. Well, that brings the revenue down if you have to send it out to someone else. To somebody else. You know? Take away from your expenses, because, like, you know, a lot of people don't know how to do stuff. You know, I could do a lot, and a lot of people don't know how to, and they find themselves having to pay this person, pay that person, and that price that adds up. Yeah, it does add up, and it affects the bottom line. Yes. So now we're coming to the end of our interview. I told you time was gonna go fast. You ain't lying. But what do you see for yourself? Like, are there any big events that you're excited about that are coming up that you wouldn't mind sharing with? Okay, well, I'm hosting the White Yard E-Comedy Show. Next week is gonna be my third time doing it with Epic Entertainment. That's something that's always fun. You know, I have to do one thing I love about that is that I'm emceeing, but I'm also kind of like I'm doing stand up as well, because I have sets in between. It just, you know, it's fun to be able to write something new and just try out something new, because all of my stuff that I do is new for that show. Right. Like, the majority of stuff is new. So it's like, you don't know what's gonna hit. You don't and you do, because I think me doing videos, I kind of know what people like. So I that's another guideline that I use when it comes to writing the stand-up comedy. And I'm excited about that. Writer too? Like, you can, you know, monetize that. Be like, I'll write your whole set for you. Well, I guess I could. You could. I could, That's part of that whole media conglomerate situation. And just sit back and just let them do their thing. Okay, now, I'm going to allow you to do some shout-outs, but you have to do it as Mr. Fotogenik. Okay. And not Shawn. Oh, gosh. Okay, I won't look. No, we can do it. All right, causes, I want to shout out to everybody that's here watching this. Shout out to the BDC. Shout out to my wife, Janelle. Shout out to my sons, Nico and Nari. And all my followers and my fans and my friends. Big up to yourself. All right, cousin. I love it. Shawn, it has been such a pleasure talking to you and understanding a little bit of how this person came to be. I wish you continued success. I'm sure we're going to be working together because we have our events coming up in November for Global Entrepreneurship Week. And I just can't wait to be part of your journey. And like I said, if you need help and support, please do rely on us, because that's what we're here for. No, I think I'm actually going to hit you guys up and try to sort something out. We're trying to push this. We're trying to go global. We're trying to go global, baby. I know that's right. Well, thanks again for minding your business with us. And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will? Okay.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.